Lya was a curious child. The banister extended in front of her, in front of a house in her neighborhood, looked perfect for some topsy-turvy. That is until she fell and hurt her leg. But in her neighborhood in Utrecht, everybody knew everybody. She was brought home fairly quickly to her mother and her maternal grandmother, whom she happened to be her favorite. They both put an arm under each of Lya's arms, and they marched her down the hallway. They said, "You're okay, you didn't break anything. You're okay, you didn't break anything." April 17th, 1939. Lya received the best birthday gift she could have asked for, her younger sister, Ellie. It would be the day after Lya's 7th birthday and the day after Ellie's 4th birthday that they would be placed on the back of 2 bikes, ridden by their family's closest friends, former colleague of her father's. Lya's in a bed she's never slept in before. She has 2 adults in front of her, her new hiding parents. They say, "Why are you crying? You're safe here, we'll take care of you." Lya isn't scared. Lya's confused. She has no clue what's going on. She says, "No, I don't sleep alone at night. I sleep with my sister." She was eventually moved into the room with her other 2 hiding sisters, Pauline and Francine. At the beginning of Lya's stay in Amersfoort, with the doctor's family that she was hiding with, she was able to play in the street, as she has lighter hair and lighter eyes, and she wasn't as easily recognized. That was until she was recognized. A member of the resistance recognized her from back in Utrecht. He told her family, "We recognize her. You need to keep her inside." So the upstairs of the doctor's home became their sanctuary. That is until they hired a new housekeeper. Backed into a corner, the woman stands over her. "Where are you from? Why don't your parents contact you?" "I am an evacuee from Rotterdam. I don't know where my parents are." Lya says exactly what she was told to say. The housekeeper isn't satisfied with this answer, but she lets it go. A sense of normalcy in a time where nothing was normal. At night, Lya's hiding parents would come into the girls' room and they'd discuss their day. Lya told her hiding parents what had happened with the housekeeper. She was given the last piece of candy they had saved as a token for her bravery that day. May 1945. Liberation. There's soldiers in the street. They're handing out white bread. They can finally visit their neighbors again, hang their flags. A couple months later, there's a knock at the door. It's Lya's uncle, one of her father's younger brothers. He's come to take her. He takes her to her younger sister, Ellie, on the farm where she had been in hiding. It had been 2 years since Lya had seen Ellie. It took them a minute to get reacquainted, but the moment they did, it was as if no time had passed. The 2 hiding families figured out a way for them to be together and for Lya to stay with Ellie's hiding family on the farm. It would be there that one day, Lya and Ellie were called into the front parlor, where they only ever went on Sundays to play the organ or read the Bible. It's not what they did that day. Ellie's hiding mother asked them to sit, and she told them, "Your parents aren't coming back to get you. They've gone to heaven." Lya and Ellie are both crying, but it's a different type of cry. Lya knows what this means. They're not coming back to get them. Ellie sees heaven as this beautiful thing. They're feeling very two very different things in this moment. A little while later, Lya and Ellie's uncle comes back to pick them up for them to go with them and their aunt and their two cousins at the time, and they head to Amsterdam. Lya's aunt, although they had a rocky relationship, she was extremely street smart, and she found them a teardown to stay in, a house that was meant to be demolished. Although it was messy and they shared the space with the rats, and there was no functional bathroom, they had a roof over their heads. They heard of a student organization in Denmark that Ellie and Lya could go to and find a family to reacclimate them after the war. So Lya and Ellie hopped on that train with dozens of other kids, the oldest baby being 12. They arrive in Denmark, and on the train platform, there's a man calling out names of each of the children. And a family will step forward and say, "We can take them." Although we don't remember if it was Lya or Ellie's name called first, one of them got called. But they're clinging to each other, crying. They can't be separated again. A lovely older couple steps forward. "We can take both girls." 1 month led to 3 months, which led to 9 months with this lovely couple, because as Lya told me, they treated them like princesses. But they eventually had to return to their aunt and uncle. 1956, the Hungarian uprising. Lya's uncle comes home. "We can't stay here. We've got to immigrate over to the US." And in 1957, they began their immigration papers. Once immigrating to the US, Lya and Ellie were able to live around the block from each other for 40 years. And then a couple of years ago, one operation later, they spent 90% of their time together in the same home. I've always liked to envision that there is this invisible string that ties together sisters. Sisterhood is a bond that can't be broken. No time, nor space, nor attempted genocide could have kept Lya from Ellie.
Let's hold those words a moment.
It was totally different from how I present my own story. Very, very insightful. I'm almost emotional, and I'm not an emotional person. So I want to thank you.
Of course.
There were a couple of things. It was the Red Cross, that organization, probably the Red Cross, that organization, to Denmark. And after all the adventures, I just want to say our biggest problem after the war was that there was no help. No psychological, mental help for any of us. So we had to do it on our own. And we did it pretty well. Like you say, sisters have an unbreakable bond. And I'm so happy you zoomed into that, because when I do my presentation, I sometimes forget that that is very important. So,
Riley, that was amazing.
And Lya, I'd like to present you with one of your own in the photo of us, and I promise to keep your memories and share your story.
thank you so much.
Of course.
And I want to give you this book, which is the book of 52 personal stories, child survivors.
Your seat. Of course. Thank you.